and Trap Lord Ross showing up at his court date. So let's jump into this Canciano without no further do's or don'ts. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Young and Hefe is apparently beefing, and I'm not sure if you guys have been caught up with this, okay? The beef is getting really serious. So the beef apparently started when Trap Lord Ross went to Young and Hefe's court date. Hefe is currently in jail on murder charges. So Trap Lord Ross went to Young and Hefe court date and gave us an update. And apparently him giving us an update was the cardinal sin.
Yeah, that really made Young and Hefe upset.
Back outside at the courthouse in downtown LA, we are here once again, but this time I'm not here for the David trial. We're here for something different today from the No Jump universe. I've got an update on the Ant Hefe situation. I came down to see Ant Hefe's court date in person. There was some...
Yo, Young and Hefe is a No Jumper host, by the way.
Very interesting updates. There was some very...
Okay, so this is just more to the reason of why you're tearing down and destroying No Jumper. Okay, got it. He just wanted to make sure that we knew that Young and Hefe was a No Jumper host, so we understand what his logic is and his reasoning here as he continues to try to destroy Adam 22.
Very, very interesting details. I'm not going to lie to you. He looked very, very surprised and confused to see me in the courtroom. There were a couple of his homies in the back, and I was sat...
His homies?
Just in front of them. I got to the courtroom super, super early. I've been hanging around like all morning, just waiting to see his hearing. And I'm not going to lie, he looked baffled. He looked baffled to see me in the courtroom, okay? Shout out to Ant. Hope he can resolve this situation positively. It's definitely no disrespect. But, you know what I'm saying? I'm out here with the public watching the trial. It was very different.
Yo, I never seen Trap Lord Ross be disrespectful to Ant Hefe. Now, Ant Hefe was a No Jumper.
Young Ant Hefe feels like anybody who speaks about his case in any way, shape, form, or fashion is being disrespectful. So there's no way to speak about the Young Ant Hefe case without Young Ant Hefe feeling like he's disrespectful.
He got arrested on murder charges. And since he left, he kind of had a problem with how No Jumper was reacting or talking about his particular like murder case per se. Now, Trap Lord Ross, I feel like his only sin is that he's connected to No Jumper. I haven't really seen Trap Lord Ross get too disrespectful with Young Ant Hefe at all, to be honest. But apparently when Trap Lord Ross went to this court date, and
Hefe was not feeling that.
Hefe was really upset that Trap Lord Ross was there. Like, he didn't like this at all. Like, not one bit whatsoever. Now, Trap Lord Ross is about to break down exactly like what.
Yeah, Young Ant said that he's going to make sure Trap Lord Ross can never go to another court date, but that's out of Young Ant Hefe's control. And with him insinuating that he could get his homies to keep him up out of there, that's not a good look, I ain't going to lie.
What went on in the courtroom. But from Trap Lord Ross' perspective, all he really did, to be honest, was just go and Hefe looked at him, didn't really seem too pleased. But like Trap Lord Ross reporting on what he witnessed at Hefe's court date didn't really seem to me like it was out of bounds.
You know, there was less people in attendance in the courtroom. It was a little bit more disorganized, kind of more defendants kind of having their opportunity to kind of speak. And yeah, it was interesting. So I've got some big updates for you. So there was some rumors going around that like him and his co-defendant weren't kind of getting along or seeing eye to eye. Now, I don't know what the relationship is like, but him and his co-defendant, Johnny Gray, did come out to court together. They were led out in a blue jumpsuits, different to the orange jumpsuit that David's in. I don't know the reason for that. Maybe someone can tell me in the comments that knows about how it goes down in the LA jails. But he came out with his co-defendant, with both of their respective lawyers. It seemed like they both had a different lawyer speaking for them. I don't know if that means that they're kind of, you know, dealing with their cases. They clearly weren't dealing with their cases separately because the judge came out, brought them both out together and dealt with them both together. But they both had different lawyers standing over each of their shoulders, talking on their behalf. So it's not entirely clear to me exactly, you know, how much they're getting on. It didn't look like there was necessarily animosity between them.
Yeah, but his reporting as well. Okay, so because he just mentioned that and mentioned like Johnny Gray, something just came to me. I now understand why Ant Hefe wouldn't want Trap Lord Ross.
Because Trap Lord Ross doesn't understand the culture and he's not giving the full take of what's actually going on. He's just giving his account of the events.
At his court date. So when Ant Hefe was initially arrested, there's this period about 2 or 3 days before we really know why he was arrested. There was a lot of rumors coming in. There were Bloods reporting. There were other people reporting, including myself. I reported something that was not true as well. I take accountability for this, right? But what happened was Trap Lord Ross, myself, and others reported that Young Ant Hefe was picked up for a murder at a taco stand.
At least Flakko's admitting the fact that he told a disgusting lie on Young Ant Hefe. Look at him taking accountability for his disgusting and atrocious behavior. That's lack of consistency and that had a lack of actual truthness to it because he is a proprietor of false media. Look at him taking accountability for that.
That turned out to be not true. Hefe, again, deservingly so, was really upset and pissed off at this, that, myself, Trapler Ross, and whoever reported that, he was picked up for a murder at a taco stand, okay? So now I understand that. It kind of makes more sense why Hefe would not want Trapler Ross at his court date. Understandable. At first, I thought he was tripping. But here's the thing. Hefe cannot want Trapler Ross at his court date, but Hefe really has no choice, right? Like, at all, right? Like, the court dates are open to the public.
Yeah, you can't stop it from going to that.
But Hefe apparently dropped a video where he breaks down, how he's about to ban Trapler Ross from his court dates, and he's about to make sure that Trapler Ross never comes again. And if Trapler Ross comes to his court date again, he has a strategy to make sure he's removed. So here is Hefe's strategy.
Another one like the other one. The recipient of Hot Topics is this guy, Trapler Ross. What's the deal with the good old people, man? So, I'm kind of confused, man, but on other thoughts, I'm not confused, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of confused because I don't understand these guys' agenda, and then in that same sense, I do understand these dudes' agenda, you know what I'm saying? Content, you know what I'm saying? So, yesterday, you know what I'm saying, if people don't know, which I'm pretty sure quite a few people know, I had a court date, you know what I'm saying? I was in and out about 5 minutes. But what I didn't know is this guy, Trapler Ross, happened to pop up, you know what I'm saying? Peter Parker, you know what I'm saying? Peter Parker and or Harry Potter, you know what I'm saying? Whichever one, you identify with, or your favorite character or superhero, you know what I'm saying? So, however, I go on court or whatever, and after the court date, I call my people or whatever, and, comes to find out, this guy is dropping content on me being in court. Now, I don't know, what is this guy angle? Why is he popping up at my court date?
Bro, okay, but why do it have to be an angle? Like, he pops up at your court date because it's news. Because his audience care about you.
Because it is news. That is why Young Hefe is being spoken upon. That is why Young Hefe is a trending topic in our space, because Young Hefe is in the news cycle, and Young Hefe is news. So, yeah, that is why they're talking about you, bro.
You are a no jumper host. You was arrested for murder. There's not a lot of information about your court because nobody is showing up. He shows up because it's news. It's news. It's really that simple. Like, it's news, bro. It's news. This is no different than you reporting on Lil Durk court case. This is no different than Lil Durk getting arrested and Hefe coming on his platform, breaking news. It's no different, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I understand it sucks.
But yeah, Young Hefe, you have to live in the reality of the situation. You're in the news cycle, and while being in the news cycle, this is what's going to happen, bro. People are going to wonder. People are going to want to hear about the situation. And because you are so adamant about talking about everybody else's situation, we do want to know about your situation.
Again, it sucks. I understand it, do. Like it sucks. It's bad. But unfortunately, bro, you don't really have any other option. Like, it's the people of California versus Hefe. The people represents the public. Yeah. Trapler Ross can show up to represent the people. It's open to the public, and there's nothing you could do. And the fact that Hefe is a media personality and a reporter is hypocrisy to me, right? It's hypocrisy because out of everybody, you're supposed to understand. Now, if Johnny Gray or his co-defendant, if Johnny Gray has this complaint, I would understand, because Johnny Gray is not a public figure. Johnny Gray is somebody, who caught a case with Hefe. But Hefe, you out of all people, bro, Johnny Gray don't have a YouTube channel. He was not doing
Yeah, that's true. Johnny Gray's not a public figure. Nobody's really worried about what's going on with Johnny Gray. We're all worried about what's going on with Young Hefe. And Johnny Gray just so happens to be
content
attached
on other people. So I can understand if Johnny Gray would have complaints, but you and Hefe, you're somebody who was doing content on other people. So for you to now say that you believe that Traplo Ross don't deserve to come and do content about you is crazy, bro. Like, that's nuts. Like that's like that's nuts.
You know what I'm saying? We seen each other one time at No Jumper. That's the last time we seen each other
In person. When was the last time Nhefe seen any of the celebrities he covered on his page? Nhefe, your case made TMZ, bro. Your case made it to TMZ. Like it or not, you are a public figure. And you got a pretty high profile case for LA.
Yeah, that is actually true. You made it to TMZ. When you made it to TMZ, it became everybody's business. I hate to admit it, man, but Flakko's making a good point. Flakko's making a good point. You became local news, national news, for real, but yeah, the world want to know.
So, bro, yo, we cannot be hypocritical, man.
That's Young Hefe's video. How many different beverages does Flakko have? God damn, bro. You didn't take like, that's your third beverage you didn't have. Nigga, the video only been going for 44 minutes. Nigga, how many drinks you gonna have?
Bro, I forget. Yo, I forget that he's in jail. Is that water sound?
Yeah, that's water sound.
Bro, is this man recording in the shower?
No, it's somebody who's recording. Flakko, you can't be that slow. Whoever's recording the video for Young and Hefe is probably like washing dishes or something like that, maintaining their normal life because they're not incarcerated. Flakko, there's no way you could be that slow, bro. No way.
Is Hefe recording this in the shower?
How does that even make sense if he's in jail?
Supporter of mine, and you're coming in the courtroom and you're giving false information. You know what I'm saying? So, from my understanding, I don't even want to play the recordings of what he said. If you feel the need to, you can go over to his page and listen to the recordings.
So I want to know what the false statements are that Traplo Ross says. So let's go back to Traplo Ross' video. And let's hear the false statements that
I think that Young and Hefe shouldn't worry about who's reporting false and or real news, and Young and Hefe should probably worry about more pressing things like his case. I think that that's what's most important, honestly.
That Traplo Ross says, because I will understand this. So if Traplo Ross did make a false statement, then you could make a video addressing the false statements that Traplo Ross made, right? But he don't need to be a supporter of yours to show up at the court date.
Yeah, Young and Hefe has it under his impression that if you're not a supporter of his, you can't go to his court date. And that's actually not how the situation, you feel me?
Right. And now we're going to hear the quote unquote false statements that Traplo Ross made, and then we'll go back to Nhefe's video. Okay. But here is Traplo Ross explaining what happened in court.
Before the judge actually spoke, and kind of held the hearing officially, Ant's lawyer kind of spoke to him privately for quite a long time. I couldn't hear what they were saying. They were a little bit far away from me, but they basically were talking quite a long time. This is kind of, I don't know, I hope it didn't distract him, because I feel like that's when Ant sort of spotted me in the courtroom. He's kind of like, what the hell? And then, he continued talking to his lawyer. They had like a little private conference talking about some of the details. I don't know exactly what was said, but there was quite a long time that they were talking. There was a lot of going back and forth. Now, he looked very, very focused. I would say that Ant looked very, very focused, very serious. You know what I mean? It's like on that third or fourth court date when I saw David, he started looking a little bit relaxed and kind of, like he was getting used to his surroundings. Obviously, I know Ant has been outside for quite some time. It's probably not the first time that he's dealt with some legal issues from what I understand. But he did look very, very serious. He looked very stone-faced. He looked like he was taking this whole process very, very seriously. It wasn't a joke. He's fighting for his life, and I could really tell that. Now, what was interesting, is that basically the judge kind of spoke with his counsel. They spoke about kind of the situation that was going on, and basically they said that, I think they said initially there was going to be another date, sort of a follow-up date on August the 4th, but it's now been set for August the 6th. And what's really interesting is basically Ant's lawyer said that additional discovery had been provided. It sounded like it was a video clip. I know there's a video clip and a still image that allegedly shows Ant at the scene of this incident, next to the white Range Rover with some distinctive clothing. It seems like perhaps that, in addition to like even more things, have been provided.
But okay, but that's not false information though. We see in the still shot. I recognize Hefe from the skill. Hey, fam. Hey, listen, man. I'm not saying anything Hefe didn't say his damn self. Hefe said.
Now that's real. He's not saying anything he didn't say himself. But then at the same time, I don't know, man. I think that this whole situation is going to continue to go too far as long as young Hefe continues to speak on the internet. He doesn't want people to talk about him. He doesn't want people to comment on him. But as long as you continue to keep this conversation and this content on the internet, it's going to continue to, you know what I'm saying? It's going to continue to go this way, bro. If young Ant doesn't want us to talk about him, he has to, at this point, just pretty much stay out there.
That he was at the store. He just said, listen, I was at the store, but I was there to buy something to eat and drink. And some nonsense happened when I walked outside, but I was not a part of it. That's what Hefe said. So Ross ain't saying nothing that he didn't say. Yeah, Hefe was at the scene, which is why he's being charged. You know, like the gang detective recognized Hefe. And they're claiming that Hefe was a part of the attack. He was a part of the assault. And that assault led to somebody dying. So Hefe is currently in jail. Now, when you see the still shot, I mean, I recognize Hefe's blockhead, his broad shoulders and pot bellies, and that chain. We recognize that, fam, they had screenshots from YouTube in the indictment to show the chain he was wearing. So again, I'm not recognizing anything false.
Said that they wanted some more time to go over discovery. There was a lot of stuff, a lot of information that they needed to go over. So they set the August 6th date for the next hearing. Now, what was very interesting, they said right now...
Now, nothing he's saying is false, but then again, it's just a matter of like personal preference. If young Hefe feels like he wants to, you know, for the most part, be able to allow somebody into his court date, you know, blah, blah. But little does young Hefe know, he doesn't make that decision. Whether he can or can't allow someone into the court date is the judge's decision. That's not his decision. And like he said, this is him versus the people. So young Ant is pretty much barking up a failed tree by thinking that he could stop anyone from going into this court date.
Bail conditions that he was offered, obviously he hasn't made bail yet, but there was a big $1 million plus bail package that was basically on the table. That's not been changed. That's set to stand right now. But, okay, they said that they need more time to look at this discovery, and it was very interesting. They said specifically, Ant and his legal team, they were asking for permission to have a laptop brought to him in jail so that he could actually watch and review the new discovery that had been provided. Again, I don't know if that's that video clip that's been circulating or whether there's more video footage or maybe other, you know, digital evidence that he wants to look over. But as I say, he basically asked to have a laptop brought to his cell so that he can actually review the evidence and review the discovery and kind of get to the bottom of what's going on with that. So I thought...
Man, hey, bro, Hefe gonna start making YouTube videos with that laptop, bro.
The fact that everybody thinks that he has access to a laptop and they talk about it like he's going to be on here searching MySpace is crazy. And I would expect Flakko to be a lot smarter about the situation, but maybe Flakko's not smarter than a fifth grader. Maybe I'm expecting Flakko to have more education than what he actually has, because the reality of the situation is young Hefe will probably be called into an office within the jail to where he'd be removed from his cell under the supervision of his lawyer, be allowed to look at certain type of documents. Who's to say that the laptop will even be connected to the internet, because they're just coming to display documents and files. So it will make a lot of sense for young Hefe to be able to see the laptop, but only be able to see the documents and files attached to it, not necessarily even being able to have any type of internet access. I would expect Flakko to be smart enough to know this, but he is, you know, a no jumper employee. So we do know that the level of intelligence over there isn't the highest. So, you know, maybe I'm just expecting too much out of this guy.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, shout out to Ant, bro. Hey, I asked if Ant needed some help with some money on his books. I never heard back. I don't know if you don't rock with me no more, man, but I rock with Ant. You feel me? Right? Man, but if Ant...
I don't think that young Hefe will rock with you at all. I don't see young Hefe being cool with you after all the things that you've done, but, you know, whatever.
Hefe gets a laptop, and we finna see about 6 YouTube videos a day, bro. And Hefe is never getting off YouTube. Never. Right? But I see the play here, though. Oh, okay, but none of the information that I'm seeing here is information that's like, you know, like that's false or even like defamatory. But Hefe is claiming that Trap Lil Ross, I guess, defamed him.
I was sitting in my court date. I definitely didn't see him, so guess this dude made a bold statement.
Who wants a laptop?
I seen him and I looked spooked. Why would I see you and look spooked? Who are you for me to see and me to look spooked or be spooked of seeing you? Now, what you didn't realize and what you don't realize is that I did see you and I recognized you. you would not have been in that courtroom. I would have made sure that they removed you out that courtroom.
This is where Young and Hefe made a vital mistake.
Because I know that you
Shouldn't have said this.
come with no good intention and you come foul. You know what I'm saying? You come foul.
But do Nhefe understand that that's not his choice? Do Nhefe understand that is not his choice? That there's literally nothing he could do about Trapler Ross being in that courtroom.
Nothing.
It's Trapler Ross' constitutional right to be in that court. It's a public building. It's a public hearing. Now, Trapler Ross is not a U.S. citizen, so in that regard, I don't know if depending on who you ask, the Constitution do not.
Is Trapler Ross protected by the Constitution, considering the fact that he's an immigrant? It's an interesting point.
Not apply to him, but it does. Okay, Trapler Ross' constitutional right as a any public building, he can record. Well, he can't record in the courtroom, but like the First Amendment auditors have done years of work to say you can record in the public building. But now you understand. Okay, so Nhefe threatening, yeah, bro, if I would have seen you, I would have kicked you out. No, you wouldn't. You can't do that. You can't. Like, you just don't have the authority to do so. Like, I don't know if your lawyer is telling you this. You just don't have the authority to do so, bro. You just don't.
No, that's true. He doesn't have the authority. He might have the will, but he doesn't have the authority. And I would advise young Ant to not even worry about fighting that fight, considering all things. Last thing you want to do is be getting into it with Trapler Ross at your court date, and then that's presented to a judge in a certain type of way that makes it look like, you're trying to control certain whatevers or, ways you're being perceived and all that kind of stuff. None of that can go well. You feel me? None of that can help your case. None of that can make your situation any better. So maybe you might want to just abort mission on the Trapler Ross situation and just allow him to make his little reports on your jail story, because again, you are making headlines. You feel me?
Like, bro, what are you coming to my court dates for, bro? You are not a supporter, bro. Like, for real, like you a news reporter, or like, I don't know what you is, but like, for you to be telling lies, I know you an enemy of the state if you were telling lies. Like, I looked at you and I looked spooked. Like, bro, I'm in here, you know what I'm saying, fighting something far more, like, you know what I'm saying, like, like messed up than to be spooked from seeing a white kid from out the UK. Like, let's just keep it like a buck, bro. Like, so let's just stop with all the lies. And I'm just telling you respectfully, bro, don't come to no more of my court dates, because if you do come to my court dates, you will be removed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro, you can't do that. Now, I don't think he's misinterpreting what Trapler Ross meant by spook. Like, I don't think Trapler Ross meant, Nhefe was scared.
Can't do that. And again, Trapler Ross is press. There is a such thing as freedom of press in America. Young Hefe, I hear you. But it just, you can't do this.
You see me? No, like, you were shocked. Like, you were stunned. Stunned is the right word. He was stunned. He was not expecting it. He was stunned. Now, do I believe that Trapler Ross was in that courtroom? Now, the Nhefe court date is empty. Again, we're not gonna sugarcoat it. It's empty. It's empty. I know y'all will want to believe that Nhefe, a beloved member of his community, will have a packed courtroom every court date. That's just not the case, bruh. I know we will want to think that Nhefe got 100 homies from the hood in the courtroom, packed every day, supported. That's not how it goes, bro. I can almost guarantee you, bro.
And that's crazy, though, for people who be ready to fight for him and have so much to say about him. Under his circumstances and situation, you would think that courtroom would look like the club when it's free before 10.
Bro, there was about
loaded
6 people there. Nhefe, his lawyer, his co-defendant, his lawyer, the judge, the prosecutors, and then probably Trapler Ross. 7. I can guarantee you the homies was not there. Probably cousins stopped coming after the first court date. All right. All right. The OG Blood who runs that YouTube channel, he probably was not there either. So I don't.
The OG Blood that runs Young and Hefe's YouTube channel. I don't think the OG Blood would run Young and Hefe's YouTube channel. That doesn't make sense.
Think that in the courtroom that empty, that Young and Hefe did not see Trapler Ross. I don't believe that at all. But the fact that Hefe believes, though, that he has the authority to remove somebody from a public hearing, bro, you just don't, bro. Like I'm sorry, unless like you're gonna tell them, hey, I feel intimidated, I feel scared. This man, is like the threat of my life, maybe. But when that paperwork dropped, bro, when that court transcript dropped, bro, can you imagine WACK100 getting a transcript of Young and Hefe saying Trapler Ross made me fear for my life? Oh no. You don't even.
Now, if you think that WACK didn't tell Flakko to get into this content, there you have it right there, man. Flakko with the admission to guilt that WACK100 is the one, in fact, who told him to accost Young and Hefe. And I'm not sure why Flacco's doing it, but WACK is, I'm sure, the one who told him to, go at Young and Hefe in this manner. So it is definitely Flu Flammer, Skull Douglas, and extremely larcenous. But the play against Young and Hefe is being shown day in and day out, and Flakko and WACK are not stopping.
Yo, you don't even want to give WACK100 any type of wiggle room to misinterpret or to shape form whatever you do into snitching. Just don't do it, bro. Because if that transcript release of you, Your Honor, that man be doing, oh no, that's gonna be all bad, bro. And don't do it, bro. Just don't. Now, I'm sure Trapler Ross will be to more court hearings. I was going to a 10-1. But like I just haven't gotten a chance to come back to LA, man. All right.
Flakko can't come back to LA. So Flakko can say I haven't had a chance to come back to LA, but Flakko is extremely aware that if he comes back to LA, it's gonna be an issue for him. Flakko got some real scary things to pay attention to in life. Michael Myers style.
Yo, what the chat saying, man? Let's get to it. Somebody says Maxwell Britt says free that man. Red Cool A says I hear Charles Corey, bro. It's key. No. We got some super chats to read real quick. 1 second. On that type time, right? That's outrageous, sir. What are you talking about, man?
Like I notices it. Like, and I
for Rory, this